Hello and welcome live to Succeed, the first Q&A of Succeed. My name is Jens Heitland and I am one of the co-founders of Succeed, which is the startup that is going to democratize leadership education where we look into building an ecosystem of leadership education for free and we want to reach 1 billion people until 2030. And we have gathered a lot of questions already. And if you have questions live, you are welcome to put them into the chat. We are live on YouTube right now, and it's the first Q&A we do after the first webinar, which we did last Saturday. Another webinar is coming up next Saturday, so very, very interesting one where, again, I will teach around how you can lead others, and we go deeper into the topic of leading others. These questions I got have been all based on the last Saturday's webinar, which was about finding your superpower and your ambition, and we went deeper into that. If you're interested in watching the video recording of that, go to wearesucceed.com and go into the login area. Go to login and find the leading yourself area, and then you will find the video of that and as well this recording of the live Q&A. Let's start kicking off with the first questions I got. I've prepared a couple of, so let's see if we get some more from you. Please post your questions in the comments. Why leading myself was a question. There was why should you lead yourself? I think it's a very, very fundamental thing to go when you look into leadership education. Every leader needs to be confident in leading. That means you need to be confident with yourself. Being confident with yourself means leading yourself. You need to understand what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what your flaws are, and being comfortable in leading through trust and leading through engaging with others. And you'll only be able to do that if you are in tune with yourself. I always say it's like you're kind of having a middle line. You need to have a balance between your brain, your heart, and your stomach. And if you are able to do that, then you will be a better leader. That's why we have decided to start with leading yourself, because one of the reasons we looked into people not being successful leaders is the reason of not being able to lead yourself. So that's a question we got. And maybe another one which went into the same direction was why do you have the steps of leading yourself, leading others, leading communities, and leading organizations? When we looked into how do we start this startup, the one topic was like we need to start with something to find out if people are interested in going into leadership education. And because of the foundational elements, we said, let's just try this, though that we are clearly aware of that's maybe not the most accurate leadership education, because we have been just compiling our knowledge into these topics. So it's really about figuring out what is interesting to you as the people who are listening and watching this, and engaging with our content to find out how can we provide content that is relevant for you. And that's why we are doing these Q&As as well. We will do a weekly Q&A going forward to really understand what are the topics that you're interested in and what are the things you would like to learn as a future leader or as a current leader. And we just started with saying, hey, there are different areas in the leadership development where we believe they're strongly correlated to what we want to do. And maybe we will name them differently in the future, but we just thought, let's get started with that. That's why we ended up with leading yourself, leading others, leading communities, and as well leading organizations. Different complexity levels when it comes to leadership. Another question we got is, now going really more into practical things, my manager is not allowing me to utilize my superpower. So I found my superpower, but my manager currently is not allowing me to use that. What can I do? I think a key part of that is, first, congratulations that you have found your superpower. I think that's really, really a good step. Important for you to decide is, or trying to find out why is your manager not allowing you to use your superpower. Is that limiting the organization? Is that not at all connected to the organization? Is it not bringing benefit to the organization? Or is it kind of a threat to your manager, and your manager feels like maybe that's kind of taking a little bit step into his terrain, her terrain. I don't know if it was male or female. And then you could kind of trying to find this out. I think it's really about having a conversation, taking leadership again, trying to find out what the reason is that your manager is not allowing you to step into that, and why you're not able to use your superpower in the company you work in. And if you find out that's not going to work in the future, then it's really for you to decide to find out, do you have a different department inside of the company, to find a different part of the organization where you could work in, where you are allowed to use your superpower? Or do you really need to take the consequences and believe in that your superpower is so important to you and you want to work with that, which I personally would recommend? Then you need to take a decision to say, hey, I will find another job, I will build my own business, whatever you're into. So it's really about having a conversation, finding out what and why your leader is not allowing that, and then taking the consequences and steps into the right direction. There's no black or white when it comes to these topics. Another question we have is, what has the superpower to do with leadership? It's again, if we just recap a little bit about the superpower is something that you naturally do, where basically I always say where you don't spend calories, and so you don't need energies to do that. And that's something where which you have done all over your life. For me, it's, for example, I am connecting people, and I'm a real connector when it comes to engaging people in different ways, with the purpose of bringing people together that could fit together in different ways, and that can be from a relationship perspective, but as well business and or just friends who I believe fit well together, and would be like having a lot of fun to engage with each other and spend time with each other. So that's my superpower. For the leadership angle of that, if you know this, in my case, this connecting power, I can use that as a leader, because it's not making effort for me at all. And of course, this connecting is very, very handy when it comes to leadership, because I connect people, I build teams, I bring different parts of the organizations together to discuss things where they maybe in other ways would never discuss this if I would not connect them. So for me, it's not a big effort to get people into that. And that's why using your superpower, in my case, is very successful when it comes to leadership. For you, it's really understanding of your superpower and using your superpower to lead people, engage with people in different ways. And that also means that it's basically you have your personal brand, you have your way of engaging with people, and your superpower will help you to find out what is an easy way and where you can as well succeed in easy ways, and or stand out from the crowd. If you're in a large corporate and you want to make a business career, then you stand out through your superpower in a different way than other people would stand out. So that's why we believe a superpower is very, very helpful when it comes to leadership, and then of course specifically to leading yourself. The other topic was ambition. We talked about the ambition. Quick recap to that ambition again. Ambition is basically the energy. So what is your energy source, the battery of where you get your energy from, which then combined with the superpower will give you really a boost when it comes to leadership and a boost in self-confidence. So there was a question, if my ambition energy is not coming from the company I work for right now, what shall I do? Similar to the other question, it's quite interesting. Um, it's very hard, because if you are working in an environment where you are not getting the energy from, it's very hard to sustain that for a long term. So for me, it's really, without being able to ask the question right now, is trying to understand, what is it the whole time that you're not getting energy from the company, or is it some days where you're not getting the energy from the companies? That's something for you to figure out. And if it's really, let's say worst case, it's a long time that you're not getting energy from the company because your values are different than the company values, then it's really about finding the right company for you over time. That doesn't mean that you need to quit your job right now. It's more about finding out where you, or talk to someone even internally to say, hey, I'm not seeing my energy met. Are there things you can change? So really trying to figure that out, which is kind of starting again, leading yourself, engaging with the people in your organization. Maybe it's HR, maybe it's your direct manager, maybe it's the manager of your manager, depending on your circumstances. Find out why is this the case, if they are able to cater to your needs, to your energy needs, being able to get the energy from the company, or again, worst case, finding a new company, building your own business, like a lot of people did, like myself did as well. And I know quite a lot of people who said, I'm fed up when it comes to the corporate world. I want to step out and do something for myself and really enjoy what I do without having like a manager or having someone else telling me what to do, depending of what the energy is. What else do we have? Let's see. Another question we have here is, I'm not able to get out of bed because my manager sucks. What can I do? It's again leading yourself part. It's very hard to judge that on just this small question, but it's really, for me, I would like to ask you to go deeper and to understand, is it truly because of your manager? Is it truly the manager that sucks? Or what is it? Not coming out of bed can have a lot of reasons. If we keep it to your manager, what is the environment your manager works in? What are the different circumstances your manager is in? Trying to understand what the other person experiences, where the other person is in their life, in their organizational context, trying to find out why it is the case that most probably the behavior is not as you expect. And then trying to change that, trying to go into conversations, helping maybe with HR again, talking to other people. Do they feel the same? Is it just you? Really trying to figure out if it's just, in this case, maybe a bad manager, a manager who is not a true leader, who is not helping you to succeed in an organization, or are there other circumstances that the manager is treating you in that way that you're not getting out of bed in the moment? So it's really trying to understand first. It's very hard just to recommend do this, do this, do this, but I highly encourage, get into connecting, get engaging with that manager and trying to find out. If you have done that, then you're able to direct yourself more into, hey, there are changes possible. This manager sees the possibility that there are changes happening. I can engage with the manager. The manager is listening. The manager is not listening, depending on that case, and then really trying to go deeper and or stepping away. If you see there are no chances that there will be change, then it's again that every one of us, and that's maybe important to understand, that's in the part of leading yourself, you are in the driver's seat. You can decide to go left or to go right. You can decide to take a decision to leave a company. You can decide to take a decision and talk to the manager of the manager to find out what the reason is behind. And very, very important for me is in an organizational context, it's not about blaming that this person is not doing a good job. It's do that with curiosity, where you try to find out, why is this the case? Why is the manager like that? There are often, in my experience, there are often reasons for certain things which you can experience and try to find out. So really try to do that and go into details. If there are more questions, you're always welcome to contact us. We have a contact site on wearesucceed.com. Feel free to send us any questions. Go and log in to the platform. We always have a chat possibility under the videos. So we have all the videos you see from us. We have inside of the platform, which is still the beta platform right now. You can ask questions in the chat. We are trying to answer the questions either in one of the next videos or directly in the chat, so that we have as well a little bit engagement and try to help you as best as possible. And of course, there's always the possibility to connect us through the normal email functions, which is succeed@heitlandinnovation.com. So that's it for today. This was the first live Q&A. We will do a live Q&A every Wednesday going forward. Next week we might reschedule it because I'm traveling and I'm hosting all the different Q&As right now, but we will see how we do that. So we'll see that in social media. You will see that if you have subscribed to the platform, you are getting email reminders. That's it for today. I hope to see you on Saturday again. Saturday, where we are going into the next webinar, which is about how can you lead others, and we go into details when it comes to that. Thank you very much for today, and see you next time.